Welcome to the Off the Road Again podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Johnny.
This is our podcast about anything and everything off-road. Dude, I had to throw back to Here's Johnny out of the middle of that, so sorry. It's like a very 80s movie.
Never heard that one before. Also, there's a song called Johnny Be Good. Anyways, yes.
Yeah, that one I know too.
Very popular for people to reference old 80s and 70s and 50s songs about. Hi.
Wait, so
how you guys doing?
Hi.
Welcome back.
How are you doing? The Here's Johnny's from The Shining, so
which isn't scary for anybody who hasn't seen it, and hopefully everybody has seen it.
Isn't scary?
Parts are scary.
We possibly have different interpretations.
When he's making out with that beautiful woman who turns out not to be a beautiful woman, that part's
that's terrifying.
Okay,
yeah.
That's
it's a great movie.
Considering,
it is a great movie.
Yeah.
Considering I have a 9-year-old who's becoming a horror enthusiast, I'll make sure to let him watch it. So,
man. Stephen King,
psychological terror. Remember, Stephen King hated it. Stephen King said it was awful.
He hated the movie. Yeah,
it was nothing like the book. Because Kubrick was, actually a genius, where Stephen King is a typing machine.
How
literally
many books has he actually? It's
a lot.
Endless amounts of books. Yeah. Look, he's great. But his, I've read a lot of Stephen King over the years. A couple of them are okay.
I read the Langoliers book, and that was it. Like I didn't. It didn't.
I read that. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't inspire me.
The Langoliers was like 4 stories.
Yeah, I think so.
So it had one really good story, and then it had the library police. Do you remember that?
No, I think I only wrote one story.
That's
one of the
1984
first story, if I remember correctly, is like a plane takes off and like a bunch.
Yeah,
of
that's the Langoliers one.
And then like monsters are eating time. That was good. The library is like there's like these like golem library police that like eat kids or some shit. It was so bad.
Wow.
I was like, it was crazy. It was so bad. That was the last time I read Stephen King, was that book. That was like probably like 12 years ago. Although, to be fair, he has a book called On Writing, which is all about how to write. And that's the best book ever how to write. I recommend that to everybody who's like, how do I get your job? I'm like, gotta learn to write. Read the Stephen King book.
Yeah.
Read that, and then Strunk and White, Elements of Style. If you read those two,
nice. Elements of Style.
And learn how to type in thesaurus.com, you're good to go.
Isn't the cliff notes on the Stephen King book that like all adverbs are bad? Like anything that ends in ly should be eliminated from the writing.
Yeah, no, that's it. No adverbs, and then write 2,000 words a day, which is like 4 hours a week.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's it. That's the secret.
Yeah. And now you can just have Chat GPT write the 2,000 words, and then you can spend like 45 minutes editing then if you want it.
You could.
Don't do that. I love that Johnny's video has frozen right as I mentioned that. Now he's
Chat GPT and the conversation's over. Yeah.
The good news is for the viewer and the audio listener, Johnny will have been there the whole time, so it won't matter. So the glory of modern technology. Anyway, so off-road show, we're way off base, which to be honest, it's a show for us. So sometimes we do what the listener or viewer wants, but more often than not, we just want to talk about what entertains us. So Ross, you had a press car last time that we barely mentioned, and it's back.
I
first show
have the Chevy Trailblazer RS all-wheel drive this week, and I don't think we need to talk about anything else other than that I'm mentioning that.
The Trailblazer is the gas-powered one that looks good and isn't good.
It looks good. It's rather small.
Yeah.
It's $36,000 for
which is reasonable.
Like Crosstrek size car, which the Crosstrek's not super cheap anymore, anyways. But
that's the thing is that like cars are just freaking expensive, man. Like the average price for a new car now in the U.S. is like $48,000 or something.
Saw that,
So it's like 36 is the new 25.
Right. And for 36, I mean, it's a 1.33 cylinder, which between idle
not
and
in a
like
good way,
$3,000, it's got like a cool, throatiness to it, and then after that, it's just abysmal. And the RS package on this thing is it's got like a carbon fiber splitter, and
just what you need.
Sport mode. Yeah, it's it would be a lot better if they didn't do anything with the RS part of it. But
yeah, it's unfortunate. At least it looks good. But yeah, and look, I mean, General Motors is getting out of the business of building things like that very soon and go. Great effect. If you haven't driven the new Blazer, you will see soon. It's really good.
That's Ultium platform, right?
Yeah, Ultium.
Okay.
This generation of Ultium is heavy but good. Is heavy but good. I drove that. The Blazer, and it's just a mature product. It's like you drive it and you're like, oh, these people have been thinking about building EVs for a long time, even if they haven't. It's just like even compared to a Tesla Model Y, it's like, oh my god, I actually great use of space, and it's calm and it has a great ride quality. Like you drive the Model Y and it's got a lot of good things going, but it's like, wow, it rides terribly. Like why is it the most popular family car in the state of California, at least? Why does it ride so flinty?
Infrastructure.
Well, it doesn't have good ride quality, whereas the Chevy does. Chevy's not, it's like it's not quick in a straight line, but who wants to go quick in a straight line with their family vehicle? Most people really don't.
Most people barely crest half throttle.
Yeah. So Chevy's GM's in a good place if they could start building these things. It's insane. I've seen 1 or 2 private Hummers. I
saw my first one this week. First private Hummer.
Yeah, I've seen 2 Lyrics, 0 Blazers, and I live I was just too lazy to take my phone out of my pocket, but I was picking my kid up from somewhere today, and I have my Rivian, and I looked and I could see Prius, Tesla, Rivian, and those were the cars in the parking lot, and I'm like, California, man. Wow. But GM should be dominating here because they make really good EVs, and I don't know, they can't build them. I can't get I can't get a feeling as to why that is. But they just, I don't know.
Well, there were a lot of problems with the early Hummers with part of the Ultium platform, the batteries. I think they very quietly had a stop sale on them.
They had software issues. Yeah, the Lyric was delayed 18 months without GM ever mentioning it was delayed 18 months. But when I'm at Chargers and I see people with Lyrics, I go, how do you like it? They go, oh, it's the best car I've ever owned. I got rid of my Tesla, my Mercedes, my BMW. This is it. This is the best car I've ever owned.
Yep.
Which, look, a lot of people that stations, that's been the response, So, and one of them was like, oh, it was horrible, but then there was a software. It's great, and that's
sure.
Now it's magic.
You get that with EVs a lot. So,
on the topic of EVs, we're very off topic for the off-road podcast here, but I had that BMW i7 EV a few weeks back.
What do you think?
Aside from the power doors attempting to amputate my foot a couple times, it was amazing. It it's
Ross. It's nice to hear you say that, because I drove it the other week, and phenomenal. Wow, great. What a good vehicle.
So serene and just soothing to spend time in. As long as you don't look at it, and as long as you know that the doors don't have your bodily health in their best intention, you're good. It's great.
It's sort of, that picture there, dark color, you can't really tell how
in the
strange. You can't even call this one ugly. This one's just strange. The one I drove was two-tone. It was the lower part of it was like royal purple, and the upper part was black, and it was just the most bizarre looking Chris, I'm gonna see if I can send you a picture that you could display because, like,
I think I got it, or I've got other ones
somewhere.
Okay.
Let me. Well, you see. Let me give me a second. Like, it's just strange, but like totally bizarre looks notwithstanding. Yeah, like what a great machine out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Genuinely enjoyable to spend time in.
Yeah.
And I will say I was dicking around, so I backed it into my garage. I plugged it into my normal outlet, and over 5 hours, I lost range.
Wait,
while it was plugged in?
Yep. I don't know.
Johnny,
how.
I got a press photo
why.
that's pretty similar, I think.
Oof.
Yeah, but that looks better than it actually looks. Hang on.
Because it's their press photo. They made sure it was good.
Well,
also concerned about I know that's probably not real, but the wall behind it. Why did they bedazzle all the
It's like sound waves, Ross. It's like got some.
I will find this. Just everyone, I don't know why I can't find it.
I was listening to Kristen Lee.
Did you put it on Instagram? I'll dig through.
On the TST show.
Here, Johnny, I got it.
They were talking about this thing, and they were talking about the gas engine one, but some of the stuff that is so novelty forward, like the digital,
that's
the screen.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We go. There's one where it's just like that snout. Yeah,
that's a lot of
like
girl.
That's the one. That's just strange. That's like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. The one Ross had is much more appealing looking compared to this. And that's a weird thing to say because neither of them is actually appealing. It's just
less
Ross's
unappealing.
Yeah, the one Ross had sucked less than this. This is.
It's
I have them up on 2 monitors right now, and I wish I wasn't here.
It's an enormous car. Like
it's
scale doesn't.
Yeah, it's full. It's big. It's full. I just again like. It's so strange. It's not ugly. It's just like it's like when you see like deep sea fish, and you're like, they're from another realm. My anthropomorphic thoughts and feelings, they have nothing to do with the world this thing comes from. And like if this drove out of the blackness of the sea, I can't say it's ugly. It's just so weird. It's alien.
Just different.
It's reimagining our relationship with proportions. Like feature proportions.
Yeah. Like that grill to headlight size. Yeah, it's like a
and grill to front end, like just flat surface nose size. The same thing that they did with the M3, M4, and also.
But
God, did you drive the XM?
I did. I was at Test Fest, and so you drive around rural South Carolina, and when you do get to like a twisty road, just houses everywhere. So I didn't get a good feel for its sportiness. Very bizarre looking vehicle. This one I think you can actually call ugly.
Very bizarre vehicle in total, scope of the whole thing.
Yeah, so this was the label red, which I believe they've just changed to like label. They got rid of the word red, so it's the XM label.
What?
That is, oh my God, what a disaster.
God, it's terrible at every angle.
It's so bad.
I think it's because it's like Bentley red label. They've like, I don't know, they're not sued, but like threatened with like, come on. Which, okay, it makes 100 more horsepower or so than like the X6M, but it's heavier.
It's
really quicker. And like, for that kind of money, if you need the EV thing, it's like, well, Rivian makes an 835 horsepower truck, or the 700 horsepower Rivian for like a third the price, right? So you can get the 4 motor for half the price, or the 2 motor, so it's, I don't know. It's a strange, I don't know.
Difficult proposition.
The other thing, and I was just so out of it, I didn't put this in my little Instagram post, but I want to spend more time with this thing on some proper road, is like The hybrid motor, the electric motor, is behind the transmission, so it's an EV that shifts gears, which is strange. Usually, you put that after the transmission. Just spin the output shaft, not the input shaft. So it's kind of like that. Not the whole point, but you're defeating a lot of the point of an electric vehicle by giving it gears. It doesn't need gears.
Right. Yeah. It's
I do like Johnny Smith's comment on your post that says, I'd rather sit down in a restaurant and have my dinner thrown across my lap and then kicked in the clickers by the maitre d' than own or drive this. It represents the lowest point in automotive style and usefulness.
I mean, I like Johnny. You notice there's a Tesla. He's just a giant pervert. There's definitely lower points like Lotus Eclat or something like that.
That's an instigating comment right there.
In all black, it's not the worst looking thing. I'm just really curious, Ross, they make the i7. I think you agree with me. I think we're in lockstep agreement. Like, wow, that drives great. Why not just throw a third electric motor at this body, get rid of the gasoline part because it's honestly obsolete at this point, and just make the IXM or whatever you want to call it. IXM, perfect. Boom, IXM,
100%.
right?
Yep.
Go. That's patented now on the show. Done. Time stamp. Johnny.
I'm sure
BMW got it the method. Yeah.
Now, what I do know is that the next
makes it worse.
Yeah, it's weird, right? But so the next the next M5, the sedan, the replacement for the current M5, will have that powertrain. So it'll be curious to see how that works in a vehicle that weighs 1,000 pounds less. And the new 5 Series, I will say, based on my time driving, a lot of it is like the 7 Series, is a phenomenal picture. Vehicle. So that M5 could be great. I just don't know if this is the powertrain.
Right. Well, the outgoing M5 comp is incredible. Like, it is so good. And I don't think people give it enough credit, or the amount of credit it's given isn't proportional to how good the M5 comp is. But
really, see, I'm not a big fan of that car.
Really?
I just think like BMW is weird this way. Like, they have this abject refusal to use air springs on their heavy vehicles. And so to make them handle well, they're just so stiff. So that car in particular, like, it's very good on a racetrack, but no one takes those cars to a racetrack. So it's just like kind of a miserable ride. Now, the CS, you ever drove the M5 CS?
I have not.
Yeah, that's like peak gasoline powered 4-door vehicles. That's it. That's the high watermark. It's all downhill. Nothing will ever be that good.
Well,
the purely powered by gasoline with 4 doors. That's it.
I don't know.
Better than the
Blackwing.
The better than the Cadillac. The
I drove. I had the 4 Blackwing and then the 5 Blackwing.
Yeah.
The 5 was, I had the auto, and I was actually supposed to have the yellow Blackwing, the anniversary or something edition with the stick that Farrow was supposed to have that got crashed. Oh. It was supposed to go from him to me, and I was supposed to take it to my best friend's wedding. But the Blackwings there's an aura around them.
They're great. They're freaking great. But I'm telling you, amazing. Man, BMW CS just knocks it dead.
Yeah.
It's look, I think I coined this term, but CS is the new M. If you see a BMW with the word CS on it, like, lights out, game over. M2 CS, one of the most fabulous things I've ever driven. The M5 CS is better. I haven't spent enough time with it. I drove the new M3 CS, and it seemed incredible, but I was just on a little baby track, the BMW track at their performance grounds, where you can't really evaluate a car. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, and I love the Blackwing, like, phenomenal. Automatic's great, manual's great, they're all great, everything's great. M5 CS is just a level or 2 or 3 up. It's just, it's if you say, hey, engineers, there's no accountants watching you, what would you do? They do the M5 CS.
Right. Not the XM. Don't know how
I mean, maybe I don't know. I just feel like I didn't get a good evaluation of that car in a sporty sense. Like it was loud and weird. But like South Carolina, Greenville, not a place for those type of vehicles. Just not.
I drove it on one twisty road here in Connecticut, and it was troubling. It's so heavy, and our roads are tiny. It was just a difficult. It was difficult to reconcile.
Yeah,
that like 180. I think the one I drove was 170, which is Cayenne turbo or Rivian and a $75,000, leftover.
But remember, so you're driving the one that's like only 600 horsepower or whatever it is, 650.
Sure.
The label is 738 horsepower.
Yeah, still.
But I didn't. I got to spend more time with it, but I just didn't feel it was like that much better than say the X6M, which I think is a wonderful high performance SUV with miserable ride quality because it's a BMW. But like I just don't see the leap up from their own existing product, which is strange to me.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think when I wrote my review that I was told not to publish, thank you, Jeff. I think the punchline was you can buy an X5M, which drives better, looks better, because of the efficiency quotient is basically the same efficiency if you're leasing it for 3 years, which is normal.
Right.
In terms of like the environmental impact of doing all the batteries versus combustion. And then with the leftover money, you could buy an M2 for the weekends.
Yeah.
And it's the same dollar figure.
Yeah. It's a strange duck. I don't, but look, maybe totally missing something. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
maybe it's like, it's brilliant. I don't know.
Dude, maybe they'll sell 50,000 of them a year in China. I don't know. It's not. Maybe it's not.
Is it?
But
I don't know if Johnny's there or not. It looks like he froze for us, but
I can.
There, he's still there.
Yeah.
I was to say, is the XM a turducken? Like it's because it's still gas and electric at the same time. I don't know. You said it was a weird duck. Sorry, that's where my brain went.
Yeah.
No, it's just like
very seasonal.
But yeah, when the XM came out, I remember I went on the launch of that. I think it was like 2007 or 8, and a lot of people were like, but that became 20% of X sales, or at least X5 sales became
really 20%.
I think it's 20%, and it's they cost 10 to 20% more. So it's, they saw a white space and figured it out. So
printing money.
Yeah, maybe they are. I don't know. This one's a tough sell, and I think the one I drove was $250,000, which is like
Jesus Christ.
What?
Seems like a lot of money. Yeah, well, Jesus Christ would be offended by 200.
Yeah. Speaking of offensive, how's it working with our boss here, Mr. Jeff Clucker?
Yeah, he's amazing. He has the ability, like not on camera but off camera, to like always say the most.
Yep.
Yeah, he's.
Oh yeah.
That's why we have him on the time. Yeah. It's good. We're having some fun. We just read this week and we're filming. Actually, it's a really cool episode. We have the Audi Hoonitron in 2 days.
Oh wow!
So the Ken Block car. So, yeah. So I'm very excited about that. Hoping we can figure out how to drive the thing. But yeah, it looks cool.
How many people are they sending? Are they sending like a fleet of people to help?
I think it's like 6 engineers plus I think they have 10 people coming with it, plus a separate guy to change tires. So,
wow, how many sets of tires are you guys getting for? So the pitch here that you probably want to do is the head-to-head drag race.
Yeah, head-to-head drag race is me and Jeff's new show. And yeah, it's great. It's on the Motortrend app and the Motortrend TV station, and we have our holiday specials coming out like next. Maybe on Friday or Monday. They're really bad at telling us. It's one of those. And it's a lot of
Friday
fun.
or Monday.
Yeah, we've been having a ton of fun making them,
from when we're recording.
And so it's good. I mean, I'm enjoying it with Jeff. It's we're having a very good time. And the holiday episode's funny. And the one after that actually is we did the Blackwing, the CT5V Blackwing versus the Mercedes, the EQE AMG sedan, and that one I think is really good.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's I think that one
that'll rustle some jimmies.
Well, I think it's funnier than rustling, but it's an interesting one.
Don't scoop yourself, but
no, I mean, like, I think it's welcome. But we had a lot of fun making it, and it's one of the most insane scenes I've ever been a part of. Made it into the video, so it's wild.
That's good. That's what we like to hear.
Anybody can. They always do these promos, which aren't great. And I said, just give me the center camera. I want 1 minute audio, no music, no cuts, just 60 seconds of that scene. And it's just me and Jeff laughing because we did not die, even though we by all rights should have died. But yeah, you'll have to watch it to find out what we're laughing about. But it's pretty fun. So yeah, that's been good. I like working with Jeff.
And now texting Jeff later.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna call him tomorrow. Yeah, just FaceTime. Hey Jeff, you got a story to tell here, don't you?
Like it's I'm going to put the clip on Instagram, but there's a very real moment where something went, I don't know if it went wrong, but we just didn't really think it through. And we just sit there for 60 seconds like, fuck.
I'm so excited to see this.
The genuine comes through is what I'm looking for here.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
So
that's fun.
Speaking of having fun, I don't know if Ross is going to do this or not. I wanted to talk about R1T life because I live in truck.
These
things are popping up fucking everywhere around me.
So many here too. Yeah. And this is not truck country.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't envision a better vehicle. Every negative thing you read about it is written by someone who doesn't own one, because no one who owns one has a bad thing to say about them. A friend of mine got a Audi S4 and he has an R1T, and I said, "Oh, how's the Audi? I always like those." He goes, "Yeah, it does everything my Rivian does, but worse." So, it's kind of that next level vehicle.
Not totally apples to apples, but
well, except that it's quicker
in a straight line, probably faster around a racetrack, and more luxurious than the Audi. I hate to say, and it can climb that the pictures you're showing right. This is a double black diamond trail. Back, you'll see that AMG squared. There was a place where that thing struggled and had to, lock all 3 lockers to make it up, and Rivian just went up, and the Rivian's not even on the greatest tires. I put it on these Vredesteins, which are great street. Yeah, they're all terrain, mud and snows, but I had it on Toyo Open Country 3s, which are unstoppable in my opinion. Like, those are freaking phenomenal tires.
That's what I have on. That's on my GX and
my Sequoia and my LX.
And
what do you guys think? I mean, they're great, right?
And
do we love them?
I maintain that the Toyo Open Country, the AT2, and then now the AT3 is the best all-terrain tire. Period. Done. Sentence over.
Chris, did he cut out or did I cut out?
No, he cut out for you.
Where did I cut out?
You said
the good news is in the show it'll be there, but he said it's the best all-terrain tire.
The Toyos are, in my opinion, the best all-terrain tire you can buy.
So I still think
Chris did have the Vredesteins.
Yeah,
I had the Vredesteins on the Suburban, and it worked. They did their job. I the Suburban I don't use in the dirt as much. So, but the off-road trucks I have are on Toyos.
Yeah, the Vreds, I think they look nice. They're good enough. And then for an EV, you get more range. So that's the one bad thing about the Toyos was my range fell by 7%. So that's why we went back to
that's significant.
It is significant, yeah.
Were they stock size and the same load rating?
I'm gonna say it was Y116 for load rating the same, but I think they were like 275 and stock is 265, but everything fit fine. They're just heavy as resistance. They're just heavy tires because I would say I think KO2s, if you were to go head to head and really push it to where you're breaking mechanical bits, I think KO2s are 5% better at the extremes than open countries, but when you're on the
countries are times better than the KO2s.
The KO2s are great for if you got to run.
I have a set of BFG sending me a set of KO2s to test, so we're gonna have apples to apples here soon.
Yeah, they weigh 25 pounds more per tire than the open countries. I think you could shoot the sidewall and it won't break, but they are very loud.
Yeah,
they're very heavy.
Yeah, well, I'm going from E's to E load rating to D, so they're actually a few pounds lighter, even though they're taller and a little bit narrower. But yeah, doing a 34 by 10.5, so pizza cutters.
Yeah. But anyways, Rivian is just, man, it's just I know everyone's sick of me talking about it. I could talk about it all day, but like, I'm just so happy I have this truck. Like, it's just, the story I've been telling lately is I took it up to the Rensport reunion, and I said to my wife, "Hey, I'm taking the Rivian for a week," and she's like, "Oh, like," I'm like, "Well, drive the Alfa Romeo." "Well, I like the Rivian better," and it's like, yeah, it does drive better.
Yeah,
it's just, and it's way more luxurious.
What are so living in the Rivian world and spending a lot of time with the SUVs and the EVs that you spend time with, what are your hopes for Rivian for the R2S and R2T?
A lower price point, honestly, just a lower price point. Same, just shrink, take the formula you have, which is killer hardware and great software, shrink it, so more people can experience it, because I'm well aware that I'm driving around in a 6-figure truck and most people can't do that, even though I paid a little less than that for mine, because I made the lucky enough to drive it and then was like, make a deposit the second I landed and get it for the original price before they raised it $20,000. Oh, I think this is Motor Trend's rendering. Yes, my friend Alex. Yeah, Alex Kirstein made this. This is a rendering, so
looks
based
on something.
Rivian front end. It was just Chat GPT or whatever. It's like, hey, make a Bronco sport sized R.
Right.
Yes, that's what spit out.
But
we tweaked it a little bit.
I think it'll be a little sexier than this. I think it'll have a higher belt line and less greenhouse. But yeah, it's all it needs to be is just this, and then the R2's done. I want the promised R1X, which is or not promised, but hinted at. So this would be above the R1T. So you get the quad motors out of the 2-motor truck. So 4 of those. So you get a potentially 1,200 horsepower, a winch, much more ground clearance. So instead of 15 inches, like 18 inches of ground clearance, longer travel shocks. So it'll be like a.
I went right back to the renders.
Yeah, it'd be like a Bronco Raptor type thing. Yeah, that's okay. This was an old render.
Want that?
Boy, I'd have to really dig deep. If you Google like Rivian patent, there was a thing. Everyone was freaking out because like the whole side of the truck folded down and like a table pulled out of it. But ignore that nonsense. It was really, you could see the front end where it had like a winch and it had like deep fenders and like no front, no like like a 45-degree approach angle on it. Just all the front of this.
Yeah.
So not this.
So this extreme luxury off-roader space is like, we were just looking at the picture of the 4x4 squared.
Yeah.
Land Rover's got this Defender SVX coming, which is supposed to be the off-road counterpoint to the SVR, even though there is no SVR Defender yet. It'll be interesting to see what evolves from here, because off-roading is really like the last frontier of being able to exploit a vehicle in a way that isn't something you can do on the street, because things are so fast now and so capable that it's just not a reality to use them to their capacity on the road.
Real quick,
So
this is the rendering I was talking about. So you can see how the bumpers in the front sticks out a lot more. So a winch could go there.
Yep.
And just look at the angles on that front end. Plus just crazy tires.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. Like it just turns out that not that everyone's going to go off-roading, but everyone loves the idea of van life and overlanding and all this pandemic era stuff, and they want the capability, and they don't want to look like posers. And like, frankly, like, since everything's just turning into an electric minivan, like, have some personality, and one way to do it is off-road chops, and like, I know Kia, I don't know, like
the EV6 or something. Not the EV6. That
exists. Not the EV7, EV8 or something. One of them.
EV6 GT.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
GT.
EV6 GT is great, but but Kia's doing like imagine if you took an R1S and put it through Kia's design house. So they have something like that coming.
Okay.
Which will have some real
Like
off-road capability, like a cyberpunk R1S. Like it'll these kind of lines, but like actual tires and some ground clearance and
that is kind of cyberpunk looking. Like
it's the EV9 though.
Yeah, but the trailer for Amazon's Fallout show dropped, and like the EV9 is right there with the steampunk cyberpunk, look.
Yeah, so just imagine it on this platform, but 2-row instead of 3-row, but real off-road chops. It's coming at some point, but yeah. So that they saw a white space. So like, the R1S is great, but it's kind of conservative looking. What if we made a wild looking, and it's kind of like Tesla's not doing a cyber SUV; they're just doing the cyber. So
what if there was a cyber SUV? Is really, I think,
what Kia is saying. But it might have some real punch, and like maybe the EV6 GT drivetrain with off-road capability.
That'd be rad. Be cool. Oh man, that could be such a good time. But Jeep's, they're trying to beat Jeep to the punch. Jeep's got that Recon, basically an electric Wrangler looking thing that's going to be out in the next probably 24 months. So
I mean,
it's
Jeep and that whole company, they're slow walking into this space. They're Stellantis is taking their sweet time with electrification. So like, you like that Ram Charger is sort of interesting.
Dude,
it's
best name, like that is name masterpiece right there. Like historical, incorporation.
I mean, it's
brilliant.
A little on the nose with it, but okay, sure. Because if they just bring out a Ram Charger. Ram Chargers were cool. This is a pickup truck that's electric.
They were.
But it's weird because it's fully electric. It's never connected to a gasoline engine, but then it has a gas engine that just creates electricity. So it's sort of like,
right.
And like
Chevy Volt.
Well, except remember, and this is a biggest point of confusion, there was a scenario where the Chevy Volt's engine actually directly mechanically linked to the wheels. That situation cannot happen in the Ram Charger. Will never be any mechanical linkage from the gasoline engine to the whatever it is, the pumpkin.
Okay.
the output.
So that's a point of differentiation.
Yeah, because the Volt was really neat.
It's good. I mean, that's
the Volt did run like that. It was an electric vehicle that, when the battery was low, had a gas engine that would kick on. But when it was really low, that gas engine would then mechanically link through like a planetary sun gear, blah blah, to the output shaft of the traction motor. But anyways, yeah. So Ramcharger's cool. I think I think it has a very short viability, because I think like solid state batteries are coming.
Okay.
Like you don't have to worry about charging, but right now you do. So I get it. But also the Ramcharger is not here, so it's like, and like I don't know, 2025.
Neither is the Chevy or the GMC or
Yeah, except that I think the Chevy.
Not that they're competitive in that space, but
no, they are. But I mean, I think the Chevy should have been out. I just don't understand GM's problem. But then again, the Cybertruck, Tesla knows how to build EVs. That they're building 10 for the next 12 months, and then like regular production starts in 25 or something. Whatever nonsense they're saying.
Oh man. Did you see the videos somebody posted a video on Reddit? They were driving on the highway in Texas next to the Gigafactory. It takes 57 seconds at 70 miles per hour to drive past this building.
I mean, look, car factories are big,
like,
I mean,
it's fucking crazy.
They've always been big, and yeah, I mean, look, Tesla's a real. They look at Model Y's best-selling car on planet Earth, best-selling car in California, best-selling EV in the nation. Like they're for real. You can't argue against them. I like the ballsiness of the Cybertruck. I don't get the hiccups. What do I don't know. Who am I to say? I do think it's curious though.
It's all speculation.
Yeah, I do think it's curious though how like 845 horsepower. They're just falling into the same trap as everyone else. Like the Rivian, our biggest competition, makes 835. We make 845. It's like okay.
Dick measuring contest. Every manufacturer gets wrapped up in it.
So okay, that's cool. But they're human too, despite what people might think.
Sure.
Yeah, no, look, I'm curious about the Cybertruck. I'd love to drive it. I'd love to do a comparison with an R1T, see what's what. I don't know how off-roady it.
Yeah,
no one knows yet. So.
I thought that's where Ross was going with it, where it was like the back-to-back with F-150 Lightning and the Cybertruck up like the same obstacle videos.
Struggling to get traction.
Yeah.
Like weight is the enemy of all these all the electric SUVs for pickups. That's just
you would think that, but again, I mean, I've spent as much time as anybody off-road. If you go back to those pictures you just had up, Chris, that was a Ram Rebel, which was falling apart. It could and I was going on the really hard routes. So this place where we're off-roading is Rower Flat. So there's 3 ways up. Every big obstacle, there's like what I would call the double black way, the black way, and the blue way. And the Ram was doing the blue way and struggling, whereas R1T. This was on the open countries actually when these photos were taken. Not even a problem. And again, the Hummer, unbelievable off-road. Like, okay, yeah, it weighs a lot, but at some point, power just takes over weight concerns,
That's true, but I'll make 2 points. First of all, the Rebel, I think it only has like a limited slip in the rear.
It might have I think it was a rear locker and a limited slip front or something, but yeah. But it was all.
Point 2 is
it was just a mess. It was a mess.
Oh Jesus! Oh yeah, that's bad. But yeah, no, I have seen the difference between a stock nothing Tacoma and like a loaded down LX sliding down the same hill off road. When it's just wet leaves and mud, and weight makes a big difference there.
Sure.
But
sure,
that's,
sure,
you know, most people buying these things couldn't give two shits about that.
Yeah, well, downhill's tough. But, you know, speaking of brilliant off-roaders, I just drove the ZR2, the Colorado ZR2. And
Ross just had it too.
I just had it 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I had it.
Yeah.
Tell us about how it was off-road, and then I'll tell you
off-road. I think
my towing experience with it.
Oh, well, I didn't tow. I just went off-roading a lot with it, and I think it has to be the most capable off-road stock thing I've ever driven. Like, I was just literally amazed at how my buddy has a this is my buddy Jonah, who, by the way, wrote that show Fallout talking about. He's Chris Nolan's brother, but so he'd never driven this truck. And I said, I want to get a video, hop in and drive it. So this is him on his very first attempt. And then we said, okay, that's boring. Let's go to the hardest obstacle here. And we did that. I was like, okay, that's boring. Nothing to it. When I touched the gas pedal twice. And I don't even know what mode I was in. Because I didn't know what the difference between terrain, off-road, Baja. I didn't know what any of them meant. So I think I just went to off-road. I forgot there was even modes. What a capable! I mean,
great.
literally,
it's awesome.
It's so calm and peaceful in the cabin. It's dull, like, and I mean, like, when I say a hard obstacle, nuts, like that, like frame twisty type thing up.
Yeah.
Blind where you're staring at, you know, a weird 90-degree angle up, like. And Jonah, my buddy, was in a This is. Yeah, you can never really tell how steep it is. This is really steep and really tricky.
Pictures and video never ever do things justice.
Yeah, so this was cuckoo pants, but like, anyways, my buddy was in a 3 on 35s, and he was struggling a little bit where the ZR2 was not. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like. Yeah, and mostly with like breakover stuff. The ZR2 just has like an extra something. Just, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Good rock sliders, whatever. It just wasn't even. I think I bottomed it out like once, maybe. It was just incredible. I was just shocked. Just so good. Now, that said, like, there's literally no room in the thing. There's nowhere to put anything. Storage. And coming out of like, you know, the R1T, like, it's comical how old the storage seems. Everything else great. Also 12. I can't remember if it was 12.6 or 13.6 miles a gallon. That's pretty terrible for a small 4-cylinder truck.
I got Chris, I sent you the picture. I including towing, I got please hold.
I don't think you sent me that one.
I don't have a final indicated gas mileage because the gauge cluster froze and stayed on the Chevy. This is what I had for. Oh, I don't know if you probably can't see that, but
I can see myself again.
It just says
see the Chevrolet.
Yeah, that's what happened for a good portion of the loan. So I don't have a total fuel economy there.
But what were you seeing? So I'm sure towing killed it.
Maybe 15.5. I definitely have
that good. I mean, that's I did nothing but freeway
trailer.
I did nothing but freeway and off road.
4 low kills. Yeah, 4 low murders gas mileage.
But still, it's a 4-cylinder truck. Like, that's, you know, and again, but on the highway, you know, I was looking at real time. You know, and again, highway in California means 80 miles an hour, but it gets 13 and a half or 13.6 miles per gallon. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy.
That's terrible.
Wait, hold on. Johnny, you said it gets 13.6 with 4 cylinders?
That's what I was saying. Yeah, 13.6.
Yeah.
And I can get 18 in a Suburban.
V8s are, in fact, somebody told me, and I believe it because I remember I drove it and it didn't shock me. The Silverado ZR2, which is not as capable, but a great truck. It gets better gas mileage with the 5.3 liter than the 2.7 gets.
I believe that. I believe that the Turbo 4 is just taxed.
It's funny. It's funny. I didn't think
in that engine.
Yeah, it was just okay, I think my biggest problem with the truck was there's nowhere to put your sunglass case. That it's just what? You just designed this from scratch, and this is what you did. But the engine's the worst part of it, which again is just Chevy can build great engines, so it's like a weird mismatch. Whereas I remember, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if it had the 5.3, if it had the Silverado ZR2's 5.3, perfect.
Something
done. That's game over.
I feel people would love that, but I feel like I drove a full size Silverado 1500 with. It felt better. That seemed to work okay. Mm-hmm. I don't. Maybe it's just the tires tuning eat into it, or I don't know. It's not a great combo. But again,
those tires, those territory ETs.
But off-road, my goodness, capability out the yin yang, again, easily on Recon, Wrangler 392, not even it wasn't. It was crazy, and that thing, detachable front, this and that, but again, Chevy 2 lockers, killer. Didn't even need the lockers, I don't think. Maybe once or twice. It's just such a good truck for off-road.
Yeah. Speaking of good trucks, when is Truck of the Year announced?
Soon, this week.
This week?
It probably either tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay. Chris, is this show for
I'm not telling you.
This will be This will be the next week.
Yeah,
we are live on YouTube though, Russ. I did get a thing, so we can't do that.
Yeah, so we'll squash that.
I'll put my producer hat on and say, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't tell you.
All right, so we'll skip that.
I've never ruined the surprise. I'm not going to start now.
So, yeah. Well, okay. So let's talk about something that's close to my heart then. The new Land Cruiser and GX. What are your thoughts? We're actually, fun fact, we're gonna have Larry Chen will be on the show next week to talk about the GX 550. He was there. He filmed the first one that was ever built, and he filmed the last 460 that was built. So
that's cool. I just saw Larry. I like that guy. So I mean, in my brain, I can't wrap my brain around the Land Cruiser. I just can't do it. It's just not a Land Cruiser. It's a Land Cruiser Prado. It's not. I don't get it. We had the Land Cruiser for 9,000 years in the 100 and 200 series. It was 3 rows. It was a luxury machine. It was a V8. It was unbreakable, and remain. And then there was a Prado. They should have sold the Prado here. You could get the GX, of course, but
they should have. It's called.
I just don't get this new Land Cruiser. Now the new GX looks great. Hey, I like that. I like the one that's
the Overtrail, especially
Overtrail, because the lower load-in floor. It's not a hybrid. I'm not a fan of that Toyota hybrid. I think it's the 4-cylinder, which I'm actually not familiar with, but I've driven a lot.
2.4 hybridized. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent a lot of
time. The GX, it's the 6.
Well, I've spent a lot of time.
The GX doesn't get a hybrid, Russ.
No, the GX does get a hybrid. It's just not the over Finch one. Yeah, the regular
Overtrail
hybrid.
Isn't there a Land Rover over Finch? Isn't there?
Yeah.
Yes,
I was making the over. But
so together here.
The what was I saying? Okay. The Tundra
GX
hybrid 6-cylinder. The Tundra is terrible. It gets worse gas than the Chevy with the V8, than the Ford with the V6 twin turbo. Tundra hybrid is bad news, and it's slower than those. So I have no hope for the Toyota off-roaders to be good powertrains. I like the GX without the hybrid system, without the third row, with the low load-in floor. So this is the over rock, whatever it's called. I mean, this one I'm excited about. I think it looks very cool.
Over-true.
But it looks like, you know, it does look
overnamed.
like it looks like that i7. Look at that. It's got the BMW i7 face. Slightly different, but
the top.
Just the headlights.
Shit, I'm not gonna be able to unsee that.
The headlights share the same. Yeah.
Johnny just ruined the GX for me.
Yeah.
Again, that i7 is not ugly. I think it's just bizarre. So.
Yeah, Chris, can you pull a picture of the 550 in Nori green? It looks phenomenal in that color because the black grille blends in better. I don't know if there's an accessible picture. Yeah, no, the hybrid Toyota power plant is very interesting. Every time I drive one, I have to remind myself that Toyota says it's for power, not for economy or efficiency.
Sure ain't for economy.
Yeah, I put like 800 miles on a TRD Pro Tundra in September. There you go. That looks better. And
does it?
I had 1,000 pounds in the bed of that Tundra, and I got like close to 19 miles per gallon, 18, 19, somewhere in that range.
Doing what?
I did the exact same trip with a Raptor R a few months prior with the exact same quad in the back.
Raptor R, that doesn't count. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh man, it was it was worth the extra tanks of gas.
You got one. Yeah, I mean, I forget the exact numbers. It was very low. We got very low mileage, I remember. But we did a thing where we had a Ford F-150 Tremor. We had we called it the Beef Blaster because the name was so stupid. Oh, it was the Chevy Trail Boss. The Silverado Trail Boss, the Tundra,
Trail Hog.
Yeah. Well, we're Pork Puncher. That's Beef Blaster. You know, we were just like these names are so ridiculous. And the Ram Rebel GT. And I remember like the Chevy had the best fuel economy, doing the same stuff. Now, are we driving really fast and going crazy? Absolutely, but pushed hard. The Chevy had the best fuel economy. The Ford was second. The Toyota hybrid was way down, and then even worse somehow was the Ram.
Oh my god! Chevy shuts down 4 cylinders when you're not doing anything all that exciting.
We were only doing exciting stuff, but it's just like it was the lightest by like 1,000 pounds. The Chevy is just a light truck. You know, it doesn't have twin turbo plumbing. God knows what they make Rams out of, rocks apparently. And you know, the Ford and the Toyota, they have turbos and hybrids, which just weighs too much. You know, so like a nice V8 was the most fuel efficient vehicle there. So
yeah, it turns out simple is sometimes still a good thing.
Yeah,
contrary to what.
I was just so, I don't know. I was so disappointed in the Tundra compared to the competition that I don't have a lot of hope for the Land Cruiser and the anything that's based on that Tundra chassis. I'm sure they'll be good in a bubble. So what I bet you'll see is rave reviews from the launch, and then once you start comparing to other vehicles, that goes down.
Yeah. Well, the same thing happened with the Sequoia. Everybody was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
The packaging is awful, and like you could get a Z71 Tahoe for the same price.
And the Z71 Tahoe, by the way, what a vehicle! Like, just what a phenomenal vehicle!
The perfect full-size SUV off-roader right now with a gas engine would be a 5.3 or a 6.2 Tahoe. There's
no difference. That's what's so good about those V8s. And you can't even tell the difference.
No, the 3-liter Duramax. That's it. I love that.
Then you got to pay for diesel, but
I got 26 miles per gallon in a high country Suburban.
You get a lot of MPG with diesel. It's just, you're causing lung cancer in small children.
I did have my small child in it, and
now they're gonna,
now she's fucked.
You didn't park her stroller near the exhaust. Like, you're okay.
She can blame you. No. We all breathe it in. She can blame you. Diesel is just a shit technology. Gets good gas mileage. And again, that Tundra was just so. The only one I will say, we had the TRD Pro. The one thing it was really good at. You played that video, Chris, of climbing that kind of slick rock stuff. It was shockingly good at only that. Like, we were rolling through mud and all kinds of other stuff, and it was not good. But this thing here, so it's like, wet rock. It was really, the Toyota was really capable at that one endeavor. So if you have to climb up wet rocks,
Johnny is frozen.
I'm here.
Come back. Here.
I was just saying.
He's there.
I don't know what that was.
Was that
change color because they were all so filthy. We were playing in a mud pit.
Was that like Toyota's MTS, the crawl control system that helped it out?
I mean, to my mind, no. It was just mechanical grip on rocks. Was really good in the Toyota. Not like extremely better than it was noticeably better than the Chevy and the Ram in that one particular endeavor. Ford was about as good. That Ford full-size Tremor, the F-150 Tremor is kind of an amazing vehicle.
Yeah, they really got that right.
Yeah, because like the F-250, 350 Tremor is like, okay, I get it.
They phoned it in for a Power Wagon competitor.
Yeah, they're tough as shit, but they're kind of crude. Whereas there's something magic about that. To me, the F-150 Tremor, I was very charmed by it. That's the blue one on the right there.
Is that a Rebel GT? Because
Rebel GT, yeah.
I had a non-Rebel GT at one point.
Yeah, GT's like
So
like a sticker package, I think. I remember when I was writing it up, I was like, "What the hell is this?" But it's just like it's like $3,500 for like big GT sticker and like a carpet or something.
Oh, the one I had the loudest factory exhaust of anything that I've driven that wasn't like a dedicated performance vehicle.
Yeah, I honestly I don't remember that part of it. But it probably did,
unbelievably loud.
Yeah,
for a something that doesn't say SVR or Raptor R or TRX or Escalade V. Actually, the Escalade V was the loudest that I've.
The Escalade V is the loudest car that'll ever exist. Yeah, I was actually I had dinner with Brandon Vivian, who's the chief of Cadillac engineer for the V series, and I said. I said, my theory is that this is the last V8 engine these engineers will ever do at Cadillac. And so you said, make it as loud as you want. Is that a good theory? And he goes, yeah, that's exactly what it was. This is the last exhaust they'll ever do. So they
in sequence, they launched the new Escalade. Yeah. The biggest thing for Cadillac in the Escalade lineup after that was the Escalade V. And then it was only 18 months, 24 months later that they had the electric Escalade on
exactly
display.
Right.
So it's go out with a bang. Same thing with the Blackwings.
Yeah, the exhaust guys did do one more thing, and it was the Le Mans car, the endurance racer, whatever Cadillac calls it. They also did the exhaust on that, and that it's almost embarrassing how bad like the Porsches and the Acuras and the BMWs sound compared to the Cadillacs. And the same dudes, and I think it was all dudes, the same dudes who did the Escalade V did the Le Mans race car, and you can tell by listening. So and just the exhaust is the exhaust team.
Yeah. So. It's so funny listening to clips of the races. Like, you hear the outgoing Ford GT, and it sounds like a race car, but it doesn't sound great. And then like the the NASCAR. What was it? A Chevy?
Oh, the Camaro.
What are they called? Project or Garage something?
Garage 56.
56
yeah,
goes
Garage
by
56 is a garage at Le Mans. So there's 55 entrants, and 56 is always an experiment of some sort. So every year it's something. So this year it was a souped up NASCAR. It was I don't know. Chris went away, but it was funny.
Chris vanished.
Who needs them? No, what was funny was like I almost felt bad for Cadillac because here they had by far the best sounding race car in the series, except that this Camaro was better and was running around. But again, like you go to Le Mans, like all the cars are fantastic, except for there's the Corvette and the Cadillac and the Camaro are so much better sounding than everything else on the field. It's hysterical.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there we go. These things sound, and these are, they went with a naturally aspirated
awesome.
V8, where Porsche has a twin turbo V8. I think BMW's twin turbo V8, Acura's twin turbo V6,
4 liter, yeah.
And then they're 5.5 liter.
Yeah.
So and they were the fastest one at Le Mans. That wasn't, the Ferrari beat them, but the Ferrari's all-wheel drive, and I think there was like the Toyota snuck in there, but the Toyota was also all-wheel drive. So the all-wheel drive vehicles had a big advantage at Le Mans. So that was
I know your time's limited. Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, when you mentioned Le Mans, this is all I think of for BMW is the memes of the M8, just so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, okay.
No, it's not, but it's hilarious.
It's fun. Sure.
So, again, I know we have you for a limited time. So you've done the transcontinental off-road trail.
Part of it.
Transamerica Trail, yes, sir.
Transamerica, and you've done copious SoCal wheeling. And we're recording in the beginning of December in 23. Do you have any 2024 plans of places you want to go off-roading, things you want to see?
I mean, I'd like to go back to Moab. I love Moab. I want to get the 2-motor. I haven't driven a 2-motor Rivian yet, so I have to get a hold of a 2-motor Rivian, do some off-roading. Dying to off-road in the Cybertruck. Want to drive the Lexus and the Toyota, the new off-roaders. I want the Silverado. I want to see how that is, because if it's related to the Hummer in any way, then it'll be kill. No matter how, it just doesn't make any difference whatsoever. It's just open desert, basically, open rocks. Rover stuff. Like I really haven't spent any time in the Range Rover off-road. I'd like to do Defender 130. I haven't touched. I'd like to get into that.
Stick to the 110.
Oh no, he froze. Or is that me?
He said stick to the 110.
Stick to the 110. Actually, I think the V8 Defender 90 was probably the most silly vehicle I drove all year. It was drag car, floor it from like a 5 mile per hour roll, and it just
it was cool. I wasn't as blown away by it as it needed more power. It was only like 118 horsepower more than the 6-cylinder, and I don't know. I was expecting more.
It's all context. Though. Like,
it's all context. But again,
it's so you want to go back to Moab. All right.
Yeah. But again, it's just you're seeing this, like, even with the Escalade V, like 682 horsepower used to be a lot, but it ain't. And so you're just seeing the limitations of like what gas performance can do, and
Oh yeah, you line an R1S up against an Escalade V or an X5
but even just forget about even like drag racing, like even just like shooting gaps on the freeway, like in the Escalade V, like makes a lot of noise, but you push that pedal, it's got a downshift, the engine's got a rev, it's got to engage a gear, so it's sort of, we're at this weird inflection point. So anyways, but yeah, lots of fun trucks to beat up off-road. So
Cool.
On that note, though, I probably should get going, boys. It's been a little bit.
No, you're good. That's what I was going to wrap it up.
I gotta go.
Give me.
But as always, thanks for having me. Sorry, I'm
definitely
ass with scheduling.
Dude, you're busy. It happens.
We appreciate you coming on the show.
Let me wrap it up real fast.
Tomorrow, I'm basically gone I'm on the road for a week, so good timing.
Hopefully, you're avoiding that Glucker guy.
No,
he said he's got a show coming up.
But then I get to go drive bodies in the Italian Alps, so I should have a good time.
Ooh, okay.
Snow Maserati. See how that goes.
That'd be awesome.
All
right, I'm gonna wrap up the whole show real fast, Ross. Rate and review wherever you listen to the podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube.
Totally frozen.
Follow Johnny at Jonny Lieberman. I'm gonna keep going. Ross is no like the one for friend. I'm overlanding dad.
Anyways, Chris,
I'll tie it all together. Hold on, let me hit.
Ross.
Hold on, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet.
Don't leave, Johnny. Don't leave. Don't leave.